All right, welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Bryce Babinick, a 3D printing application expert here at MLC CAD Systems, and today we're going to talk about high-performance 3D printing materials specifically for the aerospace and defense industries. We've got a lot of great content to cover, so we'll go ahead and just hop right in. And this is a quick look at what we're going to cover. We'll start with a brief, kind of quick discussion of why you should consider 3D printing for aerospace in the first place. And then we'll talk about some of the unique challenges that the industry presents. From there, we'll talk about each of the different machines and some of the materials that counter those challenges. Now, if you're here on this webinar, I would hope that you're at least sort of at a stage where you can begin to appreciate the benefits of 3D printing. But let's cover what I would say are probably the four biggest benefits. The first and I would say most obvious benefit is the speed, especially over traditional manufacturing processes like machining, casting, or tooling, for example. Those can typically take weeks or even months from sending a design out to getting a part in your hand. But with 3D printing, that same process can happen in just a matter of hours or days instead. The second big benefit is the design freedom that you get with 3D printing. It lets you make geometries that are just straight up not possible with traditional manufacturing, like internal channels and lightweight lattice structures. For the most part, if you can model it, you can print it. And that opens up a whole new way of thinking about part design when you're just not constrained by the manufacturing processes. The third major benefit is supply chain resilience. And that's sort of tied to our first one here, but having an in-house 3D printer means you can produce parts on demand where you need them. So whether that's a replacement part, a custom tool, or a low-volume production run, you're not dependent on those outside vendors or just really long procurement cycles. And finally comes the cost efficiency, especially with lower volume runs. You're eliminating that expensive upfront tooling cost, reducing material waste, and you can prototype and iterate without fully committing to a production run. For aerospace specifically, this combination is really powerful, but 3D printing adoption in aerospace has been slower and less common than in other industries because of its strict regulations and requirements. So these are a couple of the things you might see, for example. The first and most obvious thing is that you don't want something to catch fire in a plane, of course, but the second piece of that is if it is on fire, it's producing smoke, and you're trapped in the cabin with that smoke. So these FAR and UL certifications are critical to show that a part is self-extinguishing and very difficult to combust. It's not something you're typically going to come across with standard 3D printing materials. Related to that, you really need materials that have a temperature and chemical resistance. Whether you're near an engine, an avionics bay, fuel system, parts really just have to hold up in a harsh environment that would destroy a standard 3D printed part. And that ties into the next challenge. You need lightweight parts in aerospace, and you need them to handle real structural loads, where standard thermoplastics just aren't going to cut it. You really need materials that are engineered for performance. The last thing is traceability. In aerospace, the regulations require you to know exactly what material was used, from which lot, and that the process that produced the part is repeatable and fully documented. That's again not something that most 3D printers are built for or materials are built for, but these are the challenges that we face and that the machines and materials we cover today are specifically designed to solve. So let's get into the solutions. And we'll start with Markforged, who has really built their whole platform around the idea of industrial grade composite 3D printing. Before I get into the specific machines, I want to take a minute to talk about what separates Markforged from the rest, and that's continuous fiber reinforcement, or CFR. Most 3D printers build a part from plastic filament or even from plastic that's mixed with little pieces of chopped fiber. But Markforged does something fundamentally different. Their printers use a dual nozzle system where one nozzle lays down the base plastic material and a second nozzle inlays continuous strands of fiber directly into the part. The result is parts that are up to 10 times stronger than a standard FFF printed part. That puts them in the same ballpark as aluminum at a fraction of the weight. We have a ton of content on our YouTube channel covering CFR in depth if you want to dive deeper. But for now, just keep that kind of in the back of your mind because it applies to all the rest of the materials that we're going to be covering today for Markforged. And it's especially powerful in aerospace because it solves that major strength to weight issue that we just talked about. So now let's talk about the machines that can produce these fiber-filled parts. On the top end, we have the largest and most capable one, the FX20, and it's really purpose-built for aerospace because it has a huge heated build chamber, prints significantly faster, and is the only machine on the market capable of reinforcing high-temperature materials like ULTEM with continuous fiber. This machine makes parts for the most demanding and extreme applications out there. The FX10 is another next generation industrial printer, which means that it has those high print speeds and reliability, but it doesn't have the giant heated chamber, which makes it much more accessible. The X7 and the Mark II are also worth mentioning here. These are the platforms where Markforged established themselves in aerospace, and they may not be quite as fast, but they're still very relevant machines today, and we'll talk about why as we go through this. But all of these printers run on Eiger, which is Markforged software, and that software handles things like version locking, in-process laser inspection, and the traceability documentation that aerospace workflows require. Let's go ahead and dive into the materials. The two premium filament options that are exclusive to the FX20 are ULTEM 9085 and Vega. These materials are some of very few that are actually rated for aerospace, which also makes them great for medical and automotive industries, but that's another story. But they're both high temperature thermoplastics with flame, smoke, and toxicity compliance. Both are reinforceable with Markforged carbon fiber, and both are lot qualified and traceable for aerospace regulation. They do each bring something pretty unique to the table though. So ULTEM 9085 is one of the most established names in aerospace thermoplastics. It's been around for quite a while and is widely used because it has a heat deflection temperature of 347 F, high chemical resistance, great strength, and it meets some of those flame-resistant certifications and requirements. It also has great dielectric properties, which make it well suited for things like avionics enclosures, ducting, and anything near some of those sensitive electronic components. Vega, on the other hand, is Markforged carbon fiber filled PEC material. PEC is another one that's been in aerospace for quite a few years, but the addition of chopped carbon fiber for printing makes it even stronger, more dimensionally stable, and it gives it an even better surface finish. It also has a great heat deflection temperature of 329 Fahrenheit, and it has a low outgassing profile. But here's where things get a little bit interesting, because when you add that continuous fiber reinforcement, the heat deflection temperature actually jumps up for both of these because you have this sort of skeleton strength structure from the fiber. And so that's where you can really get into replacing some of the aluminum components that you might see in aerospace. Together, these two materials represent the top end of what's possible with composite 3D printing today. But there is another material in Markforged lineup that's a little more accessible, which is Onyx FR. It's a great starting point because it doesn't require that huge heated chamber, so it can be printed on the FX10 and the X7. Onyx FR is for a bit less extreme applications that still require the UL94 V0 rating, and it's a nylon 6 with chopped carbon fiber, and for a lot of aerospace applications, this material alone gets you where you need to go. There is an FRA variant as well, where that A signifies the lot level traceability that you get. So every spool comes with documentation that tells you exactly what you're printing with and from which lot. It's also worth highlighting here that Markforged is NCAMP qualified for Onyx FRA and carbon fiber on the X7. NCAMP is one of only two bodies authorized by the FAA to qualify materials for flight. So it's a pretty big deal for anyone that's looking to use these parts in the industry. A great real world example is Cabin Management Solutions, which is a company that produces custom in-flight entertainment retrofits for luxury aircraft cabins. They print all of their parts in Onyx FR, producing FAA compliant components that are flame retardant, high strength, and lightweight. And then they finish these things by gold electroplating them and adding a wood veneer to give it this really premium aesthetic finish. All right, now let's shift over to Formlabs and their SLA platform, because there's still some great things worth talking about there. Where Markforged's strength is composite printing and fiber reinforcement, Formlabs brings something different to the table, which is an extremely high precision, exceptional surface quality, and one of the broadest engineering material libraries that's available in SLA printing. The Form 4 is their flagship printer, which has just over 23 different engineering resins. And we just recently published a video going over each one of these in pretty good detail, so I'll cover just the ones that are the most relevant here. The Form 4 is fast, reliable, and produces parts with a level of surface detail and dimensional accuracy that FDM just can't match. The 4L takes that same technology and scales it up by nearly 5 times the build volume of the Form 4. For aerospace applications where the part size can be a limiting factor, the 4L is a pretty big game changer for things like large brackets, ducting components, and complex assemblies that would otherwise need multiple prints and bonding. So now they can come off the printer in one single run. A great example of Formlabs in aerospace is Skydio, one of the leading autonomous drone manufacturers in the US. They use Formlabs printers for everything from functional testing fixtures to production drone components, taking advantage of the surface quality and material performance to produce parts that are both flight ready and cost effective. Again, one of the biggest challenges in aerospace is finding flame retardant materials that don't compromise on precision or lead time, and that's exactly where the flame retardant resin comes in. It is also UL94V0 rated, making it halogen free and self-extinguishing. So it's suitable for aviation interior parts, enclosures, and components where compliance is non-negotiable. It has a heat deflection temperature of 232 F, so it holds up in elevated temperature environments. Not at the same level of Ultim or Vega, but more than sufficient for a pretty wide range of interior and enclosure applications. What really stands out though is the lead time story. Getting flame retardant compliant parts through traditional injection molding or casting can take over 30 days or more in some cases. But with Formlabs FR resins, you can have compliant parts in as few as just a few hours. For prototyping, low volume production, or urgent replacement parts, that difference can be pretty significant. And we need to go large. FR resin is fully compatible with that Form 4L printer, so you're not as limited on part size either. Next up is Rigid 10K. And this one is a little different from the other materials we've covered today because it's not flame retardant, but it fills a very specific and important role in aerospace workflows because Rigid 10K is a glass-filled SLA resin and it has a tensile strength of 88 MPa and a flexural strength of 158 MPa. It's one of the stiffest materials available in 3D printing, period, and it simulates the properties of PEEK and polycarbonate at a fraction of the cost. It holds its shape and dimensions under load in a way that most printed materials just can't do. The combination of stiffness, dimensional stability, and exceptional surface quality makes it really well suited for aerodynamic testing, wind tunnel models, and structural prototypes where accuracy directly impacts the test results. A good example of this is with Texas A&M low-speed wind tunnel, which used Rigid 10K to produce parts for NASA aircraft test models. They were replacing both FDM printed parts and machine metal components, and the Formlabs surface quality and dimensional accuracy allowed direct comparison to metal. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap things up. We've covered kind of all the relevant materials and machines from Markforged and Formlabs. So if you guys have any questions about any of these, whether it is printing the parts for you or purchasing the machines themselves, let us know. We're happy to take a look at whatever your application is and see if there's a way we can help you.